Next job is to shape the smoke deflectors. These are in etched brass, which is the best material, and as you can see, they fit into slots into the footplate. However, if you look on the prototype picture, they have a very subtle curve to the top. Now, some kits give you cast metal smoke deflectors which are already formed, and that's easier, but they're much too thick. So to shape this, I'm going to be using this device. It's available from Modeller's Mecca of Kings Winford in the West Midlands. It's really just a piece of brass bar and flat brass bar. You just feed it in using finger pressure only, just very, very carefully pull the thing towards you. Again, it's little and often. Just introduce that very, very slight curve. Tiny bit more. It's much more difficult if you go too far to try and reinstate it flat. So tiny little bit, a bit at a time. There we go. There you can see it's bent over. It's not a sharp edge, which it shouldn't be. Tiny bit more at the back. It's really just trial and error here. That's got the shape. It's gone a tiny bit too much, I hope you can see. That does happen just on that handrail pillar. Just press down and you ease it out. Let's reinstate the front. That's it. Just clean it up slightly. You'll be able to see then whether you've got the correct radius. And then when you fit it into position, you should be able to see. Just as an extra guide, you can use the isinglass drawing. I know purists say never lay things on the drawing. Well, since I'm not pure, I don't bother. You just check it on there, fit it onto there. Yes, that matches the radius amazingly. Exactly. Go back, check again on the model. Check, check, double check, triple check. There you are. Check. Look again at the prototype. Looks about right. And so on. The next job is to fit the handrails to the smoke deflector. They're fitted in exactly the same way as they were fitted to the cab. You have to shape them in this sort of curved right angle, if such a thing exists, and that replicates that shape exactly. Nothing complicated. In fact, it's much easier than doing the shaping on the 61XX. You repeat for the other smoke deflector and then solder them in place after various other bits have gone on. It comes back again to this, the sequence you do things. It's much easier to do things in the right order. And the A2 now is looking much more like the Peppercorn Pacific. I showed you how to form the smoke deflector. The first one now has been fitted. One of the things that we'll be considering too is this business of detailing. This conduit is on the locomotives fitted with electric lighting. It was never adopted fully. It was an idea, good idea at the time, but they always had to carry ordinary oil-based lamps as well. In fairness, this would really be considered very fine detailing. We're talking about 5 amp fuse wire, but in order to get the next smoke deflector on, which I will be explaining about soon, then it has to be fitted beforehand. It's really a question again about priorities. Although basic construction takes place ahead of fine detailing, some fine detailing has to go on at a very, very early stage. And this dynamo and its conduit to the top lamp bracket has to go on at this stage before a lot of more basic detailing is present. Similarly, the smoke box door will go on, but only after all internal soldering has taken place. These little pipes and pipe runs, conduits and so on, I'm not quite sure what they do, but they're visible on the prototype. And all of that has to be soldered in before the smoke box door goes on. I've started putting on the sandbox filler supports, the brackets, whatever they're called. They're soldered in place in just the same way that all the white metal soldering was done, if possible, from the back. Now, not all soldering can take place from the rear. That's just a feature of these things. And in one or two places we'll have to use adhesive, and I'll be explaining about that very, very shortly.